Find the mean for this sample of scores below. And the scores in this sample are 0, 8, and 13. So we have 3 different scores. One of them is a 0, and sometimes I get students asking me, do we need to bother including the 0? Because after all, it is 0. Well, I'll do this 2 different ways to show you what would happen to your answer if you were to ignore the 0 or if you were to include it. Okay, so we're dealing with a sample here, and so the formula for sample mean is that m is equals to the sum of x over n, and so I need my sum of x. I'll do that in both cases. In this case, it is 0 plus 8, that's 8 plus 13, that gives me 21. In fact, here it's just 8 plus 13, it's going to be the same thing, it's also going to be, 21. Okay, so no matter what, I'm getting 21. However, in this case here, I'm going to be doing 21 over 3 scores, giving me an answer of 7. Whereas in this case, where I've dropped the 0, I'm still going to get the same total, which is 21, but my n is now just 2 scores. And so I'm going to end up with 10.5 as my average. 10.5 would give you the wrong answer. The correct answer is 7. The average of 3 different scores, totaling up to 21, is 7. Another way to imagine to see the importance of including the 0 would be to do something like this. Let's say on Monday you started at a new job where you make commissions on sales. On Monday you make $100. And you go back. Tuesday doesn't go so well. You don't make any sales. You make $0. Now what's the average so far after your first 2 days of work? Well, if you add 100 plus 0, you've only made 100. Divide that 100 by 2 days that you've worked, and you've made on average $50 a day, which is an accurate way of depicting what's gone on here. But if you were to just simply forget about the 0, because after all it is just 0, and say that on average you make $100, because that would be 100 divided by 1, that would be very misleading. You're not making on average 100 every day. It's not a typical amount. That only happens half of the time. So you do need to include zeros anytime you see them appear in your data set. So once again, the answer here is C7.